My recent trip to Davos for the World Economic Forum was particularly important because it had provided an opportunity to herald the good news about the Philippine economy and announce our plans and programs to global business leaders.
Pilipinas, bagong mukha. May prinsipyo, may isa.
Dear PBBM, ngayong araw, February 1, 2023, nakipag-meeting po kayo kay Department of Health Officer in Charge Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere sa isang sectorial meeting sa mga executive department sa State Dining Room dyan sa Malacanang. At nagkaroon din po kayo ng meeting kay Department of Environment and Natural Resources Secretary Maria Antonia Yulo Loizaga at iba pang cabinet secretaries sa isang meeting sa executive department dyan din sa dining room. At kahapon naman po, kayo ay nagpahayag ng mataas na pag-asa para sa isang bagong taon na may bagong sigasig at isang panibagong pag-asa para sa hinaharap. Sa pagsasalita po ninyo sa harap ng mga dayuhang dignitaryo at diplomatic corps, ay binigyang diin po ninyo na habang bumabawi pa rin ang bansa mula sa epekto ng COVID-19 at sa gitna ng kasalukuyang kalagayan ng pandaigdigang ekonomiya, ang pamahalaan ng Pilipinas ay nananatiling may malinaw na pananaw na nakatuon sa mas matatag, inklusibo at makabagong post-recovery para sa bansang Pilipinas. Atin pong pakinggan ang kanyang pahayag.
I am delighted to see you all today as we welcome the new year with fresh enthusiasm and a renewed sense of hope for the future. The world is slowly recovering from the toll and pounding effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, and I'm happy to say so is the Philippines. As with the global economy, the road to recovery is not easy for the Philippines. We grapple with the pandemic's lingering effects on certain industries and disruptions in the global supply chains. But with a clear vision, standing on sound ground, the Philippines is aiming for a post-recovery that builds and transforms the economy towards more resilience, inclusion, and innovation. The Philippines' strong macroeconomic fundamentals and well-crafted structural reforms have certainly helped the country and held it in good stead, cushioning the shocks of the pandemic on the economy. We take pride that we now can claim that the Philippines is now the fastest rising economy in the Asia-Pacific region. Our growth rate, these are our legislators without whose help we could not have achieved the very encouraging numbers that we have, 7.7% growth, and that was our projection was actually 5.7%, and so it is. We can see that hopefully we will continue to surpass the forecasts for the economic indicators of the Philippines. But our growth assumptions remain reasonably ambitious. We are looking to the same growth rate for 2022 between 6 to 7% for this year. Official data shows that unemployment is dropping and that the increase in the employment rate and labor force participation is up to 98.5 and 67.5% respectively. Tax collections, investment figures are all moving upwards, which gives us here in the Philippines a sense of careful optimism. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, post-COVID realities demand the recalibrating of our strategies and focusing on urgent concerns that really matter to our people. We have to go back to the basics, that is food security, job generation, poverty reduction, and managing inflation. These strategies will require new thinking in the way we do things in our bureaucracy, in a way that puts premium on operational efficiency, good management, and good governance. A big part of this strategy, of course, is to draw investments in key economic sectors. I'm sure that with the talks that we have had with many of your members of the diplomatic corps, you are familiar with our priorities in agriculture, renewable energy and infrastructure, and ensuring opportunities and investment that lead to and translate into actual projects that will be felt by the ordinary Filipino. My recent trip to Davos for the World Economic Forum was particularly important because it had provided an opportunity to herald the good news about the Philippine economy and announce our plans and programs to global business leaders. I also unveiled the plan for the creation of a sovereign wealth fund, the Halika Fund. This will diversify our financial portfolio by creating new revenue streams for the country. The economic team of the executive branch is ready to closely work with Congress, with all stakeholders, to thresh out well-crafted law for the fund's creation. With the current growth momentum, the Philippines is poised to reach upper middle income status very soon. This is a daunting but achievable milestone, and the development well-earned and long overdue. We want this to have meaning and impact to the lives of more than 110 million Filipinos and to set the future generations of Filipinos on a more robust path to social and economic well-being. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I just rolled out the Philippine Development Plan that will serve as a blueprint for the country for the next 6 years. It's a plan for economic and social transformation. I urge our friends in the diplomatic community to work with us in achieving our development goals as laid out in the plan through partnerships and cooperations with your respective governments and also your private sectors. Let us discuss opportunities where our countries can participate to the mutual benefit of the Philippines and your countries. While our time and resources are focused on managing domestic affairs, this administration continues to attach great importance to our external relations. Our foreign policy is one that pursues international engagements on the basis of our national interest and in cognizance of the interest we share with fellow nations in pursuit of peace, security, and prosperity. ASEAN continues to be a cornerstone of Philippine foreign policy. We aim to elevate relations with our bilateral and multilateral partners. We are a staunch champion of multilateralism and remain invested in working with partners in building a stronger United Nations, one that is more fair, more constructive, more united. The Philippines counts on your support for our candidature for a non-permanent seat in the UN Security Council for the term 2027 to 2028. You will excuse my little bit of campaigning for the Philippines and our membership. The Philippines' bid stands on the strong foundation of our well-recognized contributions to the shaping of a global rules-based architecture that places people and human dignity at the center and respects the sovereignty of nations. The legacies of the Philippines as a responsible global citizen, I dare say, are solid. On this note, may I invite everyone to join me in a toast. To our friends from the diplomatic community, may we continue to strengthen the bond of our countries for the mutual benefit of our peoples and our countries. To my able colleagues in government, may we be guided by the Almighty as we continue to fulfill our mandate in the service of the Filipino people. And to my countrymen, our journey is a collective effort where everyone has a stake. Let us all work together for a brighter future, for a better Philippines. Thank you very much, and mabuhay po kayong lahat.
Thank you, Mr. President. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to deliver the message of the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, the Apostolic Nuncio to the Philippines, Reverend Charles John Brown III.
Your Excellency, Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr., President of the Republic of the Philippines, Mrs. Louise Araneta Marcos, First Lady, Honorable Secretaries of the Cabinet, officials of the Department of Foreign Affairs, Your Excellencies, the ambassadors and heads of mission accredited to the Republic of the Philippines. It is not only an honor, it is indeed a joy for me to speak this evening on this happy occasion, the resumption after a long hiatus of the traditional exchange of New Year's greetings between you, Mr. President, and the diplomatic corps accredited to the Philippines here in this historic and beautiful Malacanang Palace. Your Excellency, Mr. President, for us in the diplomatic corps, the custom of exchanging New Year's greetings with you each year is deeply cherished because in addition to expressing our esteem for you, it also gives us the opportunity to express our thanks to you, to the government, and indeed to all the people of the Philippines for the kindness we experience every day in this beautiful country. A warm welcome, a gracious hospitality, and availability to give assistance. These are the characteristics of the Filipino people, and for that we are very grateful. Your Excellency, please permit me also this evening to recognize with sincere appreciation the work of the men and women of the Department of Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Enrique Manalo, the Secretary, all of whom, with whom we, the diplomats accredited to the Philippines, interact on a daily basis, and it is always a pleasure to collaborate with them. The year 2023 begins with lights and shadows. On the positive side, there is the hope that after 3 very difficult years, the COVID-19 pandemic may finally be coming to an end. On the negative side, we see in Europe the return of the tragedy of military conflict with a real danger of escalation. Economically, the world situation is uncertain, although here in the Philippines, it is encouraging to see, as you mentioned, Mr. President, the recently reported figure of GDP growth at, as you said, 7.7% for 2022. As you noted in your speech at the General Assembly of the United Nations last September, the value of harnessing our people's talents by creating a robust and creative economy is central to the program of your government, and you pledge to continue to work with partners in promoting this at the international level. An economy that is vibrant and that provides opportunities for all, especially for the poor and marginalized. That is what is desired, and the diplomatic corps assures you of our support for this goal in the new year 2023 and beyond. And so, Your Excellency, it is an honor for me to express on behalf of all the members of the diplomatic corps our heartfelt best wishes for a new year blessed by peace, prosperity, mutual understanding, and global solidarity. And now, dear friends, may I ask all of you to join me in a toast. To the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr., for his well-being, health, and success, and for the peace, prosperity, and happiness of the Filipino people. Mabuhay. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you, His Excellency Most Reverend Charles John Brown III. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Salamat po sa panonood. Kung bago ka lang po sa aking channel, please subscribe para mas dumami pa po tayong updated sa ginagawa ng ating Pangulo na walang humpay na nagtatrabaho para sa ating bansang sinilangan. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas!